Welcome to the Reckoning Easter egg guide. I'm going to try to give you some tips and tricks to speed it up and some things that you might need to know and might just help out. So here we go. As you spawn in, there's going to be a mop bucket here, and there's a bunch of them around the map. You can't really melee it, or it's hard to, so the fists kind of work. But you want to get it right underneath the sprinkler. And the idea is eventually it will fill with water, which is going to be for a later step. Now again, there are mop buckets all over the place, but it just kind of works. And is the most convenient to just do it as you spawn in, and then you don't have to worry about it later. So we'll just come back to this, but for now we're going to stop there. Now eventually you're going to get a Mecha Claus round, and once you kill one of them, keep an eye out if you might pick up an arm just like that. So you'll just want to do that as you're opening up the map and progressing. Make sure you keep an eye out. We now are going to come over to where you can put the pieces on Claus, and you can find both the legs in this area alone. So there's 4 different locations. Right here on the shelf is one. I happen to have it in this. And then we're going to run down here. This is another location. Another possible location is you're going to come right here by Claus. And you'll see right here, you have a arm sticking out of the door. And finally, you have a chance at finding one over here by this cabinet and window, just right there on the ground. Just kind of next to this debris, right here by the shield wall by. Now, as we're opening up the map, you're going to come right here next to Deadshot. You're going to see this mangler in a tube. You can come up to this, press interact. There is no hint string. You want to just pick up that syringe, and we'll take that over to Pack-a-Punch. Once in Pack-a-Punch, you're going to jump in the laser on the left side, and you'll see a body float, and you want to just bump into it. And you want to press interact on it, which will fill your syringe. And now you're going to want to take it back to where you picked it up in the first place over at that mangler tank. So just cut back to there. Now, once you've returned right next to Deadshot, you'll press interact on it again. You'll see the tank start to light up. And you do need to be a little bit prepared for this because it's kind of like a little mini boss fight. He's just like a boss enemy that comes out. He's kind of spongy. You want to kill him. And once you kill him, an Elder Disciple will spawn and just start spawning like a bunch of random ads. So you want to also make sure you kill him as well. So there's a little bit of dialogue here. And like as the dialogue goes on, he'll eventually just get a health bar and he'll start running at you like a regular enemy. So just, save a zombie. And once you kill him, you want to make sure you pick up this mangler injection, and you're going to take it over to the Sophia Orb room, which is also where Stamina Up is. Now, as we are in the Stamina Up room, the Sophia Orb there, I guess it's the Forsaken Orb if you want to say that, because he's the one talking. You'll come up here, you'll press interact, you'll get like a little bit of a laser thing. You don't want to stand too close because your mangler ejection won't work. Don't freak out. I've had it where sometimes it works instantly, and other times it takes the entire mangler injection of standing in front of it. Or other times you see the laser go and all of a sudden the door just opens. So you want to make sure you at least stand in front of that. It'll scan opening this portal, unlocking this room for you. Okay, next you're going to go through the portal where you had the mangler injection, and right here on the table will be your last note. A lot of this stuff can be done at any time, like once you have like the rooms accessed or things like that. So we're going to start here in the jug area. You're going to come in this table or in this room, or the rooms I'm running through has a chance at spawning these folders. Now you're going to look at the dates, and you're going to go from the oldest to the latest date. So they change every game. The positions change too. So you'll maybe just write it down. So I'm gonna show on screen once I get my 4. So these are all 4 of those. So I have thrown up a picture, like a zoom in of all the notes that were in this game. So again, they'll be different in yours, but you'll go from oldest to the latest, and then you will take the 6, I guess is my first one, the 1 from the other one, and that is your code. So you're going to come over here to the room you opened up with the mangler injection, and which also has one of your code papers. And you're just going to chill here. You're going to come over to this computer, and you're just going to punch in your 4-digit code here. And if done correctly, you'll see access granted, and you should be good to go. Again, these can be done in any order you feel like it, but you're going to come over here to the tanks, come over to this monitor, and you'll stand in for a second. Sometimes I press interact. I feel like it helps. You'll see a word flash, so you want to remember the first 2 letters of it. So we had liability. So we're going to come over here and run right here next to Deadshot on this computer. We'll get another monitor with the word flashing. And whenever it pops up. So I have CL or LC. So you'll come over here to the periodic table chart and you're going to look for CL or LC. And whatever number that is, that's what you're going to punch into the digits right here on the code panel on the staircase. And that should be entering the room. So in case you're wondering, as my code was 17, so if you're like, oh, hey, what's the third digit? 0 will be your third digit. So 0, 17, then opens up the doorway. You'll come over here. This is a soul box now. It takes a few vermin, and it seems like the ray gun doesn't really help. But if you're using a regular gun and getting headshots, it helps spawn the vermin. It will take regular zombies eventually. Once the cyst is done, the glass door will open. You can pick it up, and what you're going to do is you're going to want to jump down to the purple plant area below. There will be 3 plants, and they each will have a bar that starts. You'll also kind of get like a plant poison attack, so just make sure you're looking out because in case you have zombies and stuff. You can't really stand like too near it without getting like bombed by it. But so once you finish all 3, you want to head over to the Sophia stamina up room, and you'll pick up from there. So we'll just show off the other 3 spots, or I guess the 2. So just make sure you stand here for the bar. Again, probably be better with 1 zombie running it around, but I'm doing it in the middle of the round for some reason. Another thing that can be done in this area at any time is once you kill a zombie in this area, keep a lookout for a badge to drop on the ground. You'll take it to this cabinet right here next to the tanks. It will open up giving you a DNA sample of Richtofen's family. Moving on, whenever you get a Uber Klaus to spawn in, you want to make sure you have both arms and legs placed on Klaus. You want to run over and get him to shock the area. Another thing you can do is if you wait to do the Wonder Weapon quest, you can use that to force a Klaus round, and then you'll be able to get an arm earlier than waiting for a second Klaus round. And if you use that Uber Klaus to come down and shock him, you can also use it to speed up the Klaus there. You can't do it with the Forsaken version, as to be the initial Uber Klaus that spawns from the Wonder Weapon step, but if you're confused about that, you can check that part of the guide when we get to covering the Wonder Weapon and the upgrades. Once Klaus has been shocked, you'll see him typing away on this computer, and you'll probably wonder what to do next. He'll just be stuck there. You want to end the round, and on the next round, eventually he'll start moving. You'll kind of escort him up into the next area, which is by the Samantha Orb and the stamina area, also where you did that Mangler injection over the scanner. So once you get up there, you'll just continue to escort him towards a Samantha challenge, and the Samantha challenge is normally just kills, and you do get a reward. I'm pretty sure you can fail it, but it's like a small penalty if you do. But you want to do your best, and there's really no reason you should fail it. So just continue to follow Klaus up and do the challenge. Once you get up to the panel, you do have to pay and activate it. Otherwise, he'll just be kind of floating in front of it or in proximity of it. And then once you do the challenge, he will drift off into the room with the teleporter that had the where you did the Mangler injection scan. So you do need to enter that room and just have his initial dialogue start, and then we can move on. You only need the standard Wonder Weapon to finish the main Easter egg, so this is the only part you really have to do, but we will show it at the end. So once you enter the room, you'll come there on the right and activate that. Has to be the first one, and you have to do these in the order I'm doing it. So each time you hit the computer, you'll see the bar just kind of go back up. Once you hit the fourth one, and the room will now be electrified, and Uber Claus will spawn. So now is the time you could take the Uber Claus downstairs and have a chance at him shocking Claus to kind of speed that up. You want to make sure you don't kill him though. So you want to break both his shoulders. And once you've broken both the shoulders, you want to have him walk over onto the platform, and it'll do like a little cutscene type thing. And he'll turn himself into the Forsaken. So once he's the Forsaken, you just want to kill him and finish him off, and that will give you the Wonder Weapon. No, you cannot have the Ray Gun Mark II or the Ray Gun. So just be prepared in case you were like pack-a-punching only the Ray Gun. You are not going to be able to keep that. And I'm getting pretty close here, so you do want to try to be careful of him. With both shoulders broken, now the idea is to just get him to hop over. You can kind of like lure him over like I did, and you'll know it'll have like a big white flash on your screen. So you can now come over and you'll see what I was talking about, kind of like a mini in-game cutscene. Sees him transform into the Forsaken, the big DLC 4 boss from Cold War. Oh boy. So you want to kill him. Once you kill him, you will then get your Wonder Weapon, and you can continue on with your Easter egg quests. Just like a regular Uber Claus, he will turn into like a robot flying after you break him out of the mech suit. You get another white flash and then interact with this orb. Now, you can't take that Forsaken down to shock Claus. You have to do it with the first one, so that it will lock you into the area. So this is that Wonder Weapon you want to pick up, and we'll move on to maybe getting the head next. This is a little hard to see since I'm doing it on a Claus round, but you're going to want to drop down here to the purple mushroom area. You're going to look up on one of these balconies that has like a white light, like right here next to these tanks. And once you shoot up there, you want to shoot with the Wonder Weapon. Make sure you do a charge shot. If you've done it correctly, you will see a head drop. It is in the same place every single time, so no worries there. So now we're going to take that to spawn on the mop bucket that we originally brought up. So you can just drop down here through the floor. And the sprinkler should have filled it up by now. So you dunk it in. Once you pick this up, you won't be able to run. Now, if you hang on to it too long, you can be chased by a smoke monster, which I will show you. But I would say the best thing to do is take it to an area you feel comfortable with, drop it on the ground, and fill it with souls. You can take souls while you're running around with it, but the best thing to do, I would say, is to just drop it, let it roll around. That way you can be mobile and, you know, nothing hopefully messing you up. If you see the smoke monster, you can just drop the head and then pick it back up, but this is what it does look like as it's chasing you. It is pretty cool. It's like a giant, like, dark cloud with eyes. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but yeah, you just want to make sure you're moving, or you drop the head and pick it up frequently, or you just keep collecting. We are now going to come back over to Pack-a-Punch because we need to have this done before we can place the head. So it'd probably be best to do this before you even dunk the head in the water, but we'll come over into Pack-a-Punch. When we press that button, it'll spawn about 5 or 6 blue ethereal spiders. You want to make sure you kill them all. They can only be killed with the Wonder Weapon. This will give the laser a full capacity charge. It does take a second once you've killed all the spiders. And you're going to want to go back over to where you activated the switch, and you'll see that there's like a blue orb around the little laser cannon here outside the window. So once it's cooled down all the way, you want to press interact on it, which will give you a blue effect around your Wonder Weapon gun. And you want to go over to the stamina up room by the portal where we had that mangler injection. We're going to go through that portal, and we're going to charge up the Wonder Weapon, and we're going to shoot the portal inside there, which will break all the ethereal crystals off, giving us access to place the head. So now that I have this blue effect, we're going to run on over there. So now that the portal's open, now you can run over and place the head. So of course, once it is charged up and the eyes are purple and glowing, you want to just press interact, and you'll see it go in there. If it's not going there, that means you don't have enough souls in there. So again, place on the ground, just charge it up. If you try to go through the portal now, there's a chance it damage you. Well, I've had it where it just downed me completely like a glitch, but just be careful of that. Now, once you have that Mangler room open, you'll want to come over here by Melee Macchiato. So I'm trying to melee this Project Janus box, but you do have to have that room open because that's where you're taking it. So you'll buy Melee Macchiato. You can do this as early as you have those rooms open. You'll punch it open, you'll press interact, and has a time limit before it decays. So you'll want to take the path that I do to get over there as quick as possible. So I'll just show that. Now upon entering the room, you'll go right here, you just press interact, placing the brain, and if done correctly, and you have your code punched in, your Claus, and your brain, he should give you a little bit of dialogue talking about opening up and giving you some special, I guess like Casimir devices. Now there are a couple rooms pretty much all over the map with these like boxes that you've probably seen. Now they're all open at this point. Again, if they're not open, you're missing one of the pre-requirements that we've spoke about, and once they're done, they should be open. So I would say the only ones you really need to worry about are the one that I just picked up in that area, the one that's right here, and there's one in front of Voltrade in the Pack-a-Punch room. So because you only need 4, so you don't once you pick one up, you can't carry multiple of them. You need to essentially just wait out, but it doesn't seem like they reopen up until you've opened up another one, another area. I know that's a mouthful, but essentially you'll come, you'll capture with the Pokeball. If you miss, you can just pick up and try again. Like I'm missing horribly. The Wonder Weapon will slow down the object, making it a little easier for you if you're having trouble like I am with the skill issue here. Look at this loveliness. So you don't need the Wonder Weapon in case you have like a buddy in there helping you. It just kind of makes it easier because they're bouncing around. So you'll want to pick it up. This will open up another crate. If not, like I said, just go to the areas between. So you're just going to look for 4 objects at random. They can be anywhere around the map. I'd like to stick to this main area, and it seems like you might get some down by the Richtofen's family area, but I can essentially get most of them in this area, which is really nice. So you can do as I did and run all the way back, or it would probably be easier is just running to Voltrade and then just going between these two. Like in a co-op game, obviously you can have people running around, but since you only need 4, it just doesn't seem like too big of a deal. And yeah, you can easily get one stuck behind this couch. How fun. We could sit here and show all these spawns, but again, since you only need 4, you only really need to be running between certain areas. But if you look around, you're most likely to find one of these boxes and make it a little easier on yourself. We are now going to work our way back into this room with the portals. There are 5 switches on the walls. In solo, you only need to do 3 of them, and they do take a second to turn on. So I'm just showing you all the spots to look out for. You just want to look for a red glowing switch. So when you're ready, you'll come up, you'll place all your items in this lovely device. It'll do a white flash, and you should have one of your first switches pretty early. So again, on solo, I think it's 3, and on co-op, I think it's 5. So once you've turned one on, you want to just kill the zombies, just kind of run around and train. You're just kind of waiting until you see them pop up. So I'll just let that play out. And then once that's done, you are on the boss fight. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're ready. It's about to be go time. You're at the final stopping point of, hey, you need to be prepared. Now we are going to start with the Wonder Weapon upgrade quest. You're going to come over here by Jug and interact with this door, getting some dialogue from Blanchard. Now from this point, you'll have two ways to go. You can help the good old doctor, or you can help Blanchard. And Mr. Panos there will give you some quotes. So we'll start with the Panos upgrade. We are now going to come to spawn, and over here by the armor is a door that is opened up. You will press this button that will then have a robot fly over to the computer, and you need to protect him as he's, I guess, hacking the computer or whatever. The zombies are going to try to run up. There's like a few that at least do try to run and attack him, so just defend him. Eventually he hacks the computer, which will shut down one of the elevators on the side. Make sure you have both areas bots, because you're gonna only be able to leave on one side for now unless you take one of the other teleporters. So we'll just show that and go on. Now, once defending the robot, you'll see that this elevator does not work anymore. So you'll want to run over to the other side, and you're going to want to work your way to above that elevator shaft, and you're going to end up dropping down to it. So we'll just cut over to where we're about to drop down. Okay, now that we have entered and we are above the elevator shaft, you're going to jump down and parachute. You'll see these red switches. So just make sure you're hugging the wall. You're going to want to interact with it. And you just got to make sure you're paying attention to where they are, because they are on both sides. And you have to make sure you hit all three, otherwise you're going back around. So once you hit all three, we will be moving on. And the elevator works again. Now, once we get to the top of the elevator, you will see that there's a blue orb, and you're going to want to shoot it with the Wonder Weapon, which will then burst into a bunch of different blue orbs. They're then going to go into a bunch of zombies, and you need to shoot them with the Wonder Weapon. So I start to shoot with the regular gun, and all it's doing is just transferring it back to another zombie, so it has to be the Wonder Weapon. So eventually I realized that, and once you shoot all the electric zombies with the Wonder Weapon, you will then see all the blue orbs converge, and you'll just follow over to where they're converging, and it'll have like Dr. Panos in his like spiritual form from Liberty Balls, and all you do is just watch the little, I guess, in-game cutscene and interact, which will give you the upgrade, and there you go. So just like before, you're going to talk to this door for Blanchard, and again, this is the diversion path of when you pick your side of your upgrade. So if you've already done one side, I'm pretty sure you're locked out for that game, but well, I'm just re-showing. We talked to him, and now we're going to go down to the purple plant area, and we're going to look for a Geiger counter. So once entering the purple mushroom room, you're going to want to run around this center console. You'll find this Strauss counter, and you're going to want to just keep pulling it out. You'll see out of range, but you want to find it to where it's red and says high. So once it says red and high, you're going to want to kind of narrow down like a 9-5 area. So you'll see I just kind of wander around once I found the high area, and it is a little finicky. It kind of depends on where you're turning, so you could be, see, I'm standing still and then making it go up and down. So I'm just slowly walking, seeing what I can do to get it closer to that 9-5 area, thinking it's in one of those windows, but it turns out to be the crate just above. So just running around, circling the zombie here, but essentially once you have it red, you know you're kind of in that area. You just might need to look at like a window or above. So I'm realizing, oh, it's up there. We do our little charge shot, and bam, see this drop on down, and we're gonna pick that up and we're gonna take that over. And we're going to come over here to the tank area. We're going to run up top where we got the cyst. And only when you're doing this weapon upgrade, you should be able to come over here and you'll be able to pick up this box. So once you got that, we're going to move on to the next thing, which is some cables. Okay, next we're going to come back over to the purple flower area. We're going to come outside here on this like balcony area and buy speed cola. And on the other side of these crates, again, these parts are in the same location every time. Thank goodness that we got some regular parts. Just going to pick those cables up and we're going to grab the last part. Now you can grab these in any order, but we're going to come over to the stamina up sphere area, and over here next to the weapon upgrade station, you are going to have this crate. You're just going to interact with it and you will get a PC fan. So once you got all the parts, we're going to go over to the door where Blanchard was, and we're going to go do that. Now with the tube and all 3 parts, we're going to come over, we're going to talk to the door, and right here you'll be able to build. You just press interact, it'll build the machine of all the pieces you collected, and we're essentially gassing Blanchard. Now the screen is about to turn white, and it's kind of like a defense as you just hold it off and go from there.
Project Janus, Senior Officer under threat. Dispatching response unit.
Now all you're going to want to do is just keep defending, make sure none of the zombies run up to the machine and attack it. You'll get some random robots to destroy, but it should be easy enough. Now, after you have melted Blanchard away, you want to make sure you pick up that vial. It is going to start to damage you a bit, and you're going to want to jump down, get to this area with the tubes, and you're going to take it upstairs where you had the cyst, and you're going to put it in the glass case next to it. Now, you'll place the gun, but you do have to come back and you have to do like the buildables, so make sure you have like 1 zombie or at least enough space. And once you are done with this lovely building animation, this will be your other upgrade, and now you are done.
Word to the wise, lamentation gets you nowhere.
Now, upon entering the boss fight, you'll be teleported into this area, and you will be given the choice of helping Sam or Richthofen. Now, if you help Sam, that is a much harder fight, and I think I'm going to have a separate guide for just the how to deal with Richthofen, because his first phase is fine, but the second phase is awful. So we'll just be covering helping out Richthofen here. And essentially, you'll make your choice, and you will be given some tasks to do upon the elevator, and you'll just go from there. So the first set will be like some soul boxes, the next will be some crystals, and there is like a bench and some perks you can buy on the way up. Unfortunately, no pack-a-punch, but hey. As the elevator's going up, you'll get some random robots and zombies, but you'll want to essentially come over to this crystal, and it'll be a soul box, and you just want to fill that up. There's 3 of them in this area, and you just want to have your team or each take one, or just everybody go together. Just do whatever you think is safest, and you're just filling up soul box for the area, and then you're going back to the elevator. Once the soul box is done, you just move on to the next one. There is one back in this corner. So again, just keep filling it up and then move on to it. Once you've filled up all 3 and you see they're no longer taking souls, just make your way back to the middle. Elevator should start up again. If it doesn't, that means that you have 1 more soul box to fill up. So you see all these rocks are glowing purple. The doors go back up. There you go. Once the elevator has risen to the next area, you can actually hop over the gate and do it a little early. So you'll see these purple like flares going back and forth. You only want to look for the ones that have crystals, and you want to just shoot all the crystals. So there's a random amount, and they may not always have it. You just got to make sure you're looking close enough for the crystal instead of the purple glow. Once you've done it all, you get like a quote that the energy's enough, and you'll just want to come back to the middle, and the elevator should start taking you up towards the top, which will begin your actual boss fight. And this is the same no matter what side you do, but again, the Richtofen boss fight is just a lot harder. So make your way back to the elevator, clear out the zombies, you'll ride up top, and some laser beams will shoot out, and that'll bring you to the start of your boss fight with Sam. Once the elevator has reached the top, you should see Sam coming out. She has multiple attacks, so you want to just shoot and try to shoot towards the center of the eye. It will be immune for most of it, and you will like start to break through and be able to damage just randomly. She has a spin attack that has like electric fields that are shot out everywhere, which I will show, and essentially you want to just try to avoid that. You want to try like climbing on things or just look for the gaps, because there are very slight gaps even if it's not in the direction. Sometimes you do get a little boxed in, so you may not be able to find that gap, and you might have to take a hit and walk through the electric fields. But once you open up, she'll have these like red panels that you see that we're shooting. Otherwise it's just immune, but you break the panels and essentially just a rinse and repeat. Here's that electric cycle. It kind of blacks out your screen slightly, and you can see I just kind of looked for a good opening. Now we're just climbing over the vents, and we're just going to rinse and repeat this. It just gets slightly more intense as you're doing it, and the electric is the worst part about it, but solo isn't too bad. With a friend also isn't too bad, so I definitely recommend armor plates. A chopper gunner does not seem to work on her. It just didn't do any damage at all, which is unfortunate. Immune injections don't seem to do much better, so I would say Death Machine or Grim Reaper. Definitely pluses. As you are progressing, you will get some random doppelgas or things like that, and it may start a challenge or two. So you don't actually have to complete the challenges. It is better to complete the challenges, in my opinion, because it gives you like a little bit more of a rampage for a time limit, like maybe like a 20-30 seconds where she's just shooting out the electric constantly or things like that. And you do have a chance of getting a random perk reward, which is also nice. So she may just randomly come through these portals, but just try to finish off the objective for the most part. Again, that is if you can. If you're gonna die, don't worry about it. Staying alive is the main focus here. So you're not gonna just instant wipe because you failed the challenge, which is a good thing. You do get 2 challenges as you're progressing through it. So like I said, you don't have to do them. You get a free perk reward, so it is nice if you're needing it. But it is a little bit of a rampage. Like I said, 20-30 seconds. It'll have like a little icon that appears telling you, hey, it's about to be a little bit more intense for just the time on it because you failed. So you just want to keep rinse and repeating. She's just doing the same attack, shoot the red panels, all that. Towards the end, there's an attack that will start to launch you in the sky like this. You do need to be careful, because if you kind of linger up in the sky or try to prolong it, you can get attacked and easily just destroyed by the electric attacks. That spinning electric field attack seems to start going on way more towards the end. You can easily just start shooting the center as you're breaking the plates and things like that, but she'll just start launching randomly you or whoever in your group into the sky, and you just need to be prepared because you can easily be taken out. So you just want to focus up. It's essentially the same attack cycle, just slightly more intense as you go on. And congratulations, you have done the Reckoning Easter egg. And again, we are going to come back and we're going to have like a little separate side Easter egg for how to deal with the Richtofen boss fight, because it's so intense. His first phase is just easily done, but then that second phase with the WAF, I want to have some proper tips and explanations or things like that. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like. These do take a lot of time and work to put in. And I hope you enjoyed or got something useful out of it. So, best wishes and have a good one.